He stood there, barefoot, holding a machete longer than his arm, the blade slick with something dark. He didn't blink, didn't say a word, just stared at me like I wasn't even a person. I was 12 when I met Tunde. He was 2 years younger than me, but even then, he was the scariest kid in our village. Tunde wasn't just the kind of boy you'd avoid on the playground. He was the boy who everyone whispered about, the one who people said had a shadow following him wherever he went. His mother died when he was small. Some said his father drank himself to death because he couldn't handle raising a child like Tunde. By the time I met him, he was already living alone in a mud shack at the edge of the bush, surviving on scraps and fear. Nobody knew what he did during the day, but he always came back with food, sometimes fresh, sometimes stolen. The day he walked into the village square with that machete, everyone froze. He'd stolen it from a hunter who'd gone too far into the bush. That hunter never came back. People suspected, but no one dared ask Tunde. Not when he had that look in his eyes, the look of someone who'd seen something no one else could understand. I avoided him after that, but it wasn't easy. Our village wasn't big enough to hide from someone like Tunde. Sometimes, he'd show up at the small stream where I washed clothes with my mother. He'd squat by the water, staring at us without speaking. One time, he picked up a rock and crushed a lizard with it, then just walked away. Years later, I heard what became of him. He'd moved to the city and joined a gang. Tunde wasn't just dangerous anymore, he was ruthless. But here's the part that sticks with me. I ran into him once when I was in Lagos, years after I thought I'd never see him again. I didn't recognize him at first. His eyes were sunken, and he looked broken. He sat on a street corner, begging for money, his hands shaking. "Tunde?" I asked, almost afraid to say it. He looked up, and for the first time in my life, I saw fear in his eyes. Not the kind of fear he used to put in people, but the kind that had eaten him alive. "I tried to stop," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "But it's too late for me." I didn't know what to say. I gave him the little money I had and walked away, but his words stayed with me. Tunde's story wasn't just about what he did or the fear he caused. It was about what happens when the world gives up on someone too young to fight back. That's the scariest part of all. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe for more and hit the notification button for my new video.